let's switch over to the presentation. There we go. And quite appropriate that we're focusing on the winter season, because over here it has suddenly, as of yesterday, become quite autumnal. The sun is shining, but it's quite chilly, which is a bit of a shock to the system, because I've just come back from 2 amazing weeks in Cornwall, and I was filming like crazy and have all sorts of amazing images and experiences to share with you from our 2 weeks down there, which was wonderful. And we had glorious sunshine for 2 weeks, so a bit of a surprise that it's a bit more chilly, but it is nearly October, so so we've done pretty well this year. So we're really focusing in on all of the lovely things that your lovely clients can do in the winter season. I appreciate most of your clients will book and start planning further ahead in with maybe sort of 4 to 6 weeks notice. But just in case you're being asked for something a little bit closer, we thought this would be useful for you. So there we go. And before we get into that, as I said, we've been working on a whole number of different things over here, and I wanted to share with you the background, just very briefly, the background to Humphreys of Henley and why we exist, why I set the business up those seven years ago. And it is purely and simply from an absolute love and passion for the countryside. A few of you have been very kind and fed back and said that my love for the countryside comes through in all of these videos. And I just wanted to share with you that when I became aware of the fact that there are companies like mine who focus in London or Edinburgh and over in Ireland and so on, they do a fantastic job. But I was amazed to find out that nobody really specialised just in the British countryside, which in my humble opinion is the most beautiful place in the world. And therefore it made absolute sense and complete logic for me to set Humphreys up. And in the process of doing that, I really just wanted to articulate what I think Humphreys can do in terms of having a bit of a mission. And that is where the Humphreys promise comes from, which is to protect, prolong and preserve the British countryside and those really important traditions that all of your clients love coming to see. And it's really close to my heart that we bring a lot of revenue back into the countryside so that we can ensure our stately homes and our palaces and our manor houses and all of those wonderful falconry traditions and so on can last even longer. So I just wanted to share that because I don't think we've talked about that before. And it makes it a whole lot easier for me to then go on lovely trips to places like Cornwall, because it's where I love, it's my happy place basically, which is wonderful. Now, just a little update from over here in terms of the C word. On Friday, we are due to have what is supposed to be a really comprehensive travel update. They're going to get rid of the traffic light system and really just make the whole process a lot more straightforward, so that it's much easier to understand about going to and forth, and also in response to all of the complaints about testing and the different pricing, and there are some real sharks out there who are trying to make the most out of people's misery. So they're really trying to ensure that all of the testing is consistent, the pricing is consistent, and the service is consistent as well. And we're even hearing that some travel companies are offering free testing as well. So that seems to be something that's developing. So I will send out an update about all of the changes and so on that are announced on Friday. And then it's time to start looking forward. We are so excited about the Queen's Platinum Jubilee celebrations next year. There's more and more information being released. The main events are all going to be on the extended bank holiday weekend from the 2nd to the 4th of June next year. But there are going to be events throughout the year. So if you've got some clients thinking about coming over, you know they love the royal family and so on, please let us know. But in November, we will be doing a whole tea and training about the Queen's Platinum Jubilee and what the plans are and so on. And we've got some fabulous experiences that are going to be available just for 2022 to celebrate the Jubilee, and it's going to be 7 special experiences to reflect her 7 decades as our amazing Queen. So look out for that, and let me know if you want any information before that. But it's very exciting, really exciting. So celebrating the seasons. It's one of the things I think I love most about our beautiful countryside is just all of the changes that take place from month to month. And I walk most mornings with my dog and see all of the same trees and landscape and so on, just changing as we go through. And the colours are spectacular. The sunrises are quite extraordinary. And those lovely, crisp, frosty mornings are spectacular. So lots of good reasons to come over during the winter time. Just recommend bringing a few extra layers because it does get a little chilly out there. Not as chilly as some parts of the States, obviously, but it does get a bit chilly. Now I see Guy Fawkes Night as the night that launches, or the day, if you like, that launches our winter. It's on the 5th of November. Beware, the 5th of November. And bizarrely, because you know we are slightly eccentric and we love our bizarre traditions, we celebrate a chap who, with his co-conspirators, tried to blow up our king and all the members of the House of Lords. Anyway, as you well know, he was caught. And they all came to rather grisly ends. But the 5th of November now is a big celebration. I guess we're celebrating that they all survived, apart from anything else. Now, again, if you've got clients over here, we do a bonfire night rather spectacularly. And some of the fireworks displays are extraordinary. Some of them, I mean, Lewis, for example, which is absolutely huge, and Chatsworth, and I think Alexandra Palace, all last for 2 days. So they have amazing, obviously bonfires and different events. I mean, the one in Lewis really gets into all of the sort of different pagan aspects of celebrating and so on. And they have 7 burning crosses because there were 7 martyrs who were burned at the cross, obviously a few centuries ago. And so the different places across the country do it in different ways. But if you've got clients over here, we will certainly recommend the most local firework display to go to, because whether it's in the heart of the countryside or whether it's at Chatsworth or Alexandra Palace, they really are incredible. And we do go to town on the 5th of November. It's a big old event. So that launches our winter season. And we just wanted to share some of our really favourite places to go over the winter season, and we'll share some of the different activities and so on. But these are some of the places that really just do go to town. They get very, very festive, and they really do create an amazing sort of wintry stroke festive atmosphere, which is just wonderful. The St Nicholas Fair in York, for example, almost takes over the whole city, and all of the gorgeous little cobbled streets. There are stalls and people putting on little performances and so on. It's just utterly magical. They do it incredibly well. Bath. Now, sadly, this year, Bath Christmas Market isn't happening, but talking to our friends down there, they are really sort of building up to make Bath wonderfully wintry and festive. And the wonderful thing about visiting Bath in the winter is you can go to the Royal Baths, the Roman baths, and enjoy a nice warm dip while it's all sort of chilly and so on outside. The pump rooms do a stunning evening, three-course evening dinner, and then and the fabulous gin distillery, that its name escapes me at the moment, apologies, also does some really special sort of cocktail mixology sessions and so on. And obviously there's the Holborn and Jane Austen experiences. Oxford and Cambridge really do well, the festive season, but winter incredibly well, and the lights and so on are quite magnificent, and the brilliant ice skating rinks. And we can arrange private experiences on if your clients want to go ice skating, get a professional out there. They can have a bit of a lesson and put together a bit of a dance. So all sorts of wonderful things in Oxford and Cambridge. The Cotswolds, as you know, all of those beautiful villages. Great Milton, just where the Manoir, the Belmont Hotel, the Manoir, which is just to die for. I mean, Great Milton has these beautiful candlelit parades and so on, and they run through until most of them run through until January. So it's not necessarily just a Christmas thing. You've got the amazing Chatsworth House up in the Peak District, but again, all of those incredible frost-bitten landscapes and the villages and so on are spectacular. And Scotland probably celebrates Christmas and New Year, dare I say it, better than anywhere else in the UK. They really do go to town with all of their events running through December, and Hogmanay is a huge celebration of New Year. So those are some of our favourites, literally scattered across the country. So lots to choose from. And in terms of activities, these country pursuits are really quite winter orientated anyway. So your clients can combine an amazing trip down to Chavenage House, for example, down in Gloucestershire, with a fabulous falconry experience in the grounds. The partridge shooting season started this month, and then we're into pheasants and so on from October onwards. So again, we can offer your clients amazing access to some of the best shoots, but I'll give you a bit more info on that in a second. For those who love their horse riding, again, we can give access to some of the best hunts in the country, whether it's down in Gloucestershire or around here in the Chilterns, the Kimblewick Hunt and so on, welcomes visitors. So as long as you've got clients who are fairly proficient on horseback, obviously, they will be welcomed with open arms, which is a wonderful British tradition. Horse riding, as you know, whether it's in the shadow of Windsor Castle or out in the Cotswolds and Chilterns countryside, down into Hampshire and Devon and Cornwall as well. Please just let us know, because it's a really wonderful way to see the countryside. Now, curling, I think, is something that is probably a lot more prevalent on your side of the Atlantic than it is ours, but we're catching up a little bit. We're not quite there yet, but a lot of the ice rinks now will offer brilliant curling lessons, and again, we can get the pros in, make it a fabulous sort of private experience. And we've talked to you about all of our glorious estates, whether it's Wormsley in Oxfordshire or the Grange down in Hampshire. Anywhere in the country, arranging a brilliant clay shoot is such a brilliant thing to do on a winter's afternoon. And we have the warming liqueurs and all of those sorts of things just to keep the cold out. But it really is a special event, and something that increasingly we've seen a lot more families enjoying together. And obviously the old competitive spirit starts digging in, which is fun. And the same with the archery. Now, one of our favourite venues actually for archery is Broughton Castle. I'll share some images with you, but they have all of these suits of armour and all the heraldry and so on all over the walls of the castle. So it feels quite appropriate somehow to have a bit of archery going on in the grounds. And then if you have clients who want something a little maybe a bit warmer, something inside a little bit quieter, wreath making and the amazing offers of wellbeing sessions. Some of them are hosted in, some of our favourite hotels, from, Coworth down to Heckfield, down to the Four Seasons and so on. But we've got a couple of fabulous partners in the stately homes who are doing them. So your clients really can go off and lose themselves. So there's a huge amount to do. And all of these things traditionally took place over the autumn and winter months. So it seems hugely appropriate that they do it. So just a little reminder of the shooting season. Now, all of you, I'm sure, will remember Darling Morris, and I'm not going to attempt to compete with him and his passion and enthusiasm for shooting. But if you have any clients whatsoever who want to come over and have a go, you know Morris well enough to know that he will look after them supremely well, and they'll have a day or two to remember forever. It'll be really, really special. So just keep us informed and let us know. Now, these are just some of our favourite ice rinks. Although I have spotted, we've forgotten one of my favourites actually, and my apologies for that, which is Hampton Court. The Hampton Court ice rink is quite amazing. But they're popping up all over now, which is just wonderful. I mean, some of them, like Somerset House and Kew Gardens and so on, are very, very popular and can get very busy. As I say, we can have private access. But it's just a magical wintry thing to do, and most of them are open until sort of late January, February time. So lots of opportunity to ice skate like an Olympian, I think. But as you can see, again, scattered across the whole country. And this is something that has popped up probably in the last 5 or 6 years. I think some of these places actually compete with each other to see how many light bulbs they can use for their winter light displays. Either way, the people who benefit are us and our lovely clients, because they are truly spectacular. As you wander through the woodland and parkland, they just get even more creative about the use of light. And then, as with Waddesdon and Blenheim and so on, the amazing displays that they put on the houses are quite extraordinary. So lots of different opportunities, and these are just some of our favourites. So wherever your clients are, there will be a fabulous light display, and we'll make sure that that they get to go. And again, this is a selection of our favourite Christmas markets, but some of them actually are more winter markets. I mean, as I said, the St Nicholas Fair in York, most of them start in mid-November, and some run through into January, some do stop just before Christmas. But there are so many different wonderful styles. Some of the, like the Birmingham, have really taken on the whole German approach, because obviously the German Christmas markets are quite extraordinary. And so there are a few examples like that dotted around. But places like Stratford and Oxford and so on have really adopted the whole Victorian approach. So it's quite sort of Charles Dickens and Scrooge and all that sort of thing, which is lovely. But again, obviously we will share all of those with you. And the likes of Waddesdon and Blenheim, you can obviously, your clients can obviously combine the two, which is great news. And there are some other rather lovely events that we wanted to share with you. I think the Nutcracker is as archetypally Christmas as you can get, and I don't know how many years I used to go with my father, and it's just the most magical experience on the planet. And we haven't heard that they're putting it on again in London, but anyway, it's happening at Blenheim, which will be huge fun. And there's racing at Ascot. There are some stunning dinners, and what we're finding is with places like Le Manoir and so on that often put on these fantastic events, they're being a bit slower than normal to announce the dates and so on. So we're really confident that there will be more events added to the diary, and obviously as soon as that happens, we will let you know, which is very exciting. So that is our little trip through winter. I hope it was useful. It would be lovely to hear if you've got any clients who are if they are planning to come over. Debbie, in answer to your question as to whether they're open daily, most of them are open daily. Certainly the Winchester and York and those ones. Some of the smaller ones in, say, the Cotswolds villages and so on, as Maisie said, it varies from place to place, but the smaller ones can be more weekend orientated, but the larger ones are every day. So we would love to create some or share some of our winter magic with your clients, if any of them are asking, but obviously also explore some opportunities for next year. And what we're going to do is share some of the delights that I enjoyed down in Cornwall over the last couple of weeks. So to really show you lots of video from We saw a performance at the Minack Theatre, which is this incredible theatre that's carved out of the rock. So you're looking over onto the sea, to Port Isaac, if you've got any Doc Martin fans, and the Lost Gardens of Heligan, which were just extraordinary. So we will share all of those with you. We're going to do two sessions now on Cornwall, so look forward to sharing those with you and seeing you again in on 2 weeks today.